a generation that is being constantly warned about the potential effects of climate change, it's no surprise that I'm passionate about conserving the environment.
I live in Portugal, and last year I spent a week working at EDF-EN, a renewable energy company.
That experience taught me about the importance of renewables around the world. It also showed me the amazing results that Portugal has achieved in promoting renewable energy, and surprised me with the zest with which these results were achieved. Portugal's innovative use of and continued expansion in renewables is easily my favorite thing about the country.
Hydroelectric power generation is one of the oldest types of renewable energy and the first to be competitive with fossil fuels. The first large-scale hydroelectric power plant in Portugal was set up in the 1960s, and now hydro makes up more than 10% of power generation in the country.
Dams like the one here on the Douro River are fed not only by rainfall, but by water that is pumped upstream by wind power. This is done to balance the problems caused by supply and demand gaps between power generation and consumption.
Engineers in Portugal have come up with the solution of using the power generated by wind farms at low consumption times, namely at night, to pump water upstream and allow it to flow through hydropower plants at peak consumption times. Wind power isn't only used to pump water for final generation by hydro plants. In fact, wind energy is an extremely fast-growing industry in Portugal, and wind farms like these ones here in the Beira Alta make up almost 15% of electricity generation in the country. This is thanks to the focused measures of the Portuguese government to supply feed-in tariffs for wind generation. Many people might say that their favorite thing about Portugal is the abundance of sun and sea. As the country is beginning to harness their power, they've become part of my favorite thing, too.
The first wave power plant in the world was set up in 2008, and the photovoltaic industry is growing rapidly as the technology develops, supported by the government's feed-in tariffs.
Solar thermal heating is also growing in popularity. It's easy to spot solar panels on new builds because of the new building codes that make their installation mandatory.
Investment in renewables creates win-win situations. The installation costs may be high, at least for now, but reaping the benefits later will be worth it. Portugal is still extremely dependent on foreign oil and gas, but the more renewables they invest in, the less they will be subject to instability and price fluctuations. And, of course, once the windmills, dams, and panels are up, the operating costs are very small, and the energy is non-polluting.
45% of Portugal's electricity in 2010 came from renewable sources. What's not to love about that?